Congratulations on your purchase of a Rhino wet waste interceptor. This video program will show you how to properly install your unit. The installation of all Rhino wet waste interceptors, whether they're gravity, simplex, or duplex units, is a relatively easy task as long as some simple rules are followed. First, all Rhino units should be located as close as possible to the source of the wet waste. Secondly, know your local building and plumbing codes. Some municipalities require specific types of piping. While most municipalities accept ABS or PVC piping, others require copper piping for specific kinds of buildings. Selecting the correct piping prior to completing the installation will save time and money later on. Let's go through each installation type in order, and along the way you'll see there are elements common to each. Let's start with the gravity unit. True to its name, it works on the gravity principle and is designed to handle average amounts of wastewater you'd find in restaurants or residences. Before you begin any installation, find the location of the drain leading to the sewer or grease trap. If the level of the drain into which wastewater will flow from the Rhino is higher than the level on which the gravity unit will sit, you'll either have to elevate the Rhino so that wastewater exiting can follow the path of gravity and flow downwards into the drain or grease trap, or you will have to use a pump unit. There is one exception to this, where a gravity unit will do the job instead of a pump unit. If the drain line downstream of the P-trap is located behind a wall, it's still possible to use a gravity unit instead of a pump unit simply by knocking a hole in the wall behind the exit of the Rhino and installing a TY connector into the line and connecting it to the exit of the Rhino unit. Water exiting the gravity unit can then flow, by the process of gravity, directly into the drain line. Be sure and check how far the exit port of the gravity unit is away from the drain inlet point. Rhino manufacturers recommend that the gravity unit be elevated 1/4 inch for every 18 inches it sits away from the drain. Once you've got these measurements calculated, it's time to begin installation. Gravity unit. When installing a single gravity unit, connect to the sink outlet immediately downstream from the P-trap with an appropriate length of piping, and direct this piping toward the top inlet of the gravity unit. It is not necessary to locate the Rhino directly below the sink. If the sink outlet is too low to accommodate the unit, or if space requirements are too tight, locate the Rhino to the side of the P-trap, using whatever length of piping is required. In the installation kit, you'll find a top inlet connection, an inlet tightening ring, and 2 rubber inlet gaskets. Install these into the inlet port on top of the Rhino. 1 rubber gasket goes directly on top of the unit. Once it's in place, insert the inlet connection, reach inside with the second rubber gasket, slide it onto the inlet connection, and then install the inlet tightening ring counterclockwise and secure it firmly. The entry ports of all Rhino units are a standard 2 inches, so you may find you'll have to adapt the pipe leading from downstream of the P-trap so that it fits into the entry port on top of the unit. The exit port of the gravity unit, located at the rear of the reservoir, is also a standard 2 inches. Run 2-inch piping of an appropriate length from this exit port directly to the drain line and connect it. When connecting to the drain line, if the entry is larger or smaller than 2 inches, use an adapter and couplings to make it fit. Once you've got these connections completed, firmly secure the Rhino to its base with the 2 ground brackets in your kit. Now insert the strainer and a filtration membrane. Push up and rotate clockwise. Run water through the unit, checking along the way for leakage from the outlet downstream of the P-trap into the Rhino top inlet port, the connection exiting the Rhino at the back, and the connection into the drain connector that leads to the grease trap or the sewer. Congratulations! You've installed your first Rhino gravity unit. Now let's move on to the Rhino pump units. Rhino pump units. In many applications, grease traps or exit piping leading to outside sewers are located at higher levels than the level on which you'll be placing the Rhino. Since water can't flow upward without some force behind it, this installation will call for a pump unit. The size of that unit depends on how much wastewater is being handled. Rhino offers 2 units with integrated pump systems. The Simplex has one electric motor set into the top of the reservoir behind the main unit. This motor can pump approximately 13 gallons per minute to a lift of 4 feet. Rhino also offers the Duplex unit, similar to the Simplex, except it has 2 electric motors situated in the same location. The Duplex is designed for busier applications and can handle approximately 20 gallons of wastewater per minute to a lift of 4 feet. The initial installation steps for all pump units are exactly the same as they are for the gravity unit, with one exception. Since Rhino pump units are electrically run, be sure there's an electrical outlet suitable to receive the grounded attachment cap from the motor. This outlet should be installed to local electrical codes and be within 4 feet of the unit. Connect into the piping downstream from the P-trap and direct the pipe to the top inlet on the Rhino unit, making sure the fittings are tight and secure. Here's where the differences apply. At the rear of the Rhino unit, you will see the pump outlet pointing straight up. You'll need a 1-inch threaded plastic nipple. One end of the nipple is inserted into the pump outlet and secured with a 1-inch hose clamp. The threaded end of the nipple is screwed into a 1-inch to 1.5-inch female-to-male adapter, threaded to glued. Wrap the threaded joint with Teflon tape. 1.5-inch piping or larger, as required by site conditions, can then be extended to the building drain. Once you've got the exit line firmly connected, secure the pump unit to its base with the ground brackets in the same way you did with the gravity unit. Next, insert the strainer and a filtration membrane, then plug in the pump unit and test it. As soon as the pump unit is plugged in, the pump will automatically kick on for 20 seconds. Run water through the unit, making sure all connections are firmly secured and that there are no leaks. As soon as all wastewater has been pumped from the Rhino unit, the pump will automatically kick off. Whenever installing a pump unit, it's important to point out to your customer that the Rhino pump will automatically kick on for 20 seconds every hour, even when the Rhino is not in use. This is a built-in safety measure to ensure there's no gas buildup resulting from small amounts of wastewater left in the Rhino reservoir during kitchen downtimes. Combination installations. Rhino units, whether they're gravity or pump, have been designed to work in combination with each other, and the combination you use depends entirely on the needs of your customer. A gravity unit with a garbage disposal unit is one type of combination. There are also tandem installations that consist of 2 Rhino units situated side by side. These units can consist of 2 gravity units with piping leading downstream from the P-trap into the inlet ports of both units. Another tandem installation might be a gravity unit beside a pump unit. There are also combination installations that include a duplex unit attached to 2 or 3 gravity units. All of these installations are relatively easy to install, but for the purposes of this video, let's begin with the installation of a garbage disposal and gravity unit.